Hi, I'm Tara Steiger, and I wanted to tell you a little bit more about my online community, which is called the Starship. Now, first of all, why is it called the Starship? First of all, because I'm a nerd and I'm weird. Secondly, because when I started this back in 2010, I knew I wanted a place for my smart, wonderful students to gather. I was teaching classes about how to grow your creative business after doing that myself with my yarn company and turning it into a full-time job. And I started to get questions about how I did it. So I put together some classes that would explain things. And what was great is during these classes, people would ask fantastic questions and I would answer them. But after the class, people would send me questions. And what's crazy is that often somebody sent a question that someone else could have answered. Someone else in the group either asked the same question and I wish I could answer them, all together, or I wanted to connect this person with this person because this person told me something that would help the first person. So I thought, what if we had a way to get together after the class, during the class, and talk with each other? So my first thing was just to install a chat room in my classes, and I still do videos with chat rooms below them in a webinar series and in monthly Q&As, which you get as part of the Starship. But over time, it built into getting access to all of my classes and soon getting access to the library of the classes I've created over the last 5-6 years. And then I built forums where people could ask a question and not just get my response, but get everybody's responses to their questions. When I first set up the beta version of the site with a weekly chat and forums and a library of all my classes, I asked the people who were already my students who had decided to join in, what should we call this space? And we thought about like the kitchen, because that's where people gather, or the bouncy house, because that's where people go and have fun, those big inflatable bouncy houses. And they suggested, or I think I gave them as an option, the Starship, and they voted and they decided on it. And the reason the Starship is such a great metaphor for what we do is because a Starship is a place where talented individual people come together to work on a shared goal. But in our Starship, the goal isn't just moving forward one ship. It's actually that we're all captains of our own ship and we're moving the ship of our businesses forward. And there is no map and there is no guidelines, and we are exploring and we're experimenting and we are trying our best to both be passionate and excited and be logical and reasonable and come up with scientific answers that are going to work for our own business. So really, maybe we should call it the spaceship because all of the ships come together in one place, but the Starship it is. So you can read more about it on this page at tarasweiger.com/starshipbiz. It opens once a quarter and sometimes only once every 6 months. And when new members come in, it's usually limited to 20 to 25 students, new members, and everybody's membership is a whole year. So when you come in, you're guided through orientation, which is a 6-day email course that introduces you to each area of the Starship. We have since upgraded it, so it's now all on my site, a totally private forums, a chat room where we have 2 chats a week on Wednesdays, and the library of all of my classes, which include video and audio and workbooks and worksheets and all kinds of fun stuff for the best of the classes I've created over the last 5 years for makers and artists. So you come aboard, you have a year-long membership, and you can then, once you go through orientation and you go through Chart Your Stars, which is a guidebook to helping you get oriented in your own business. Where are you right now? Where do you want to go? What kind of business do you want to have? Because we all want different things from our business. So what matters to you and where you want to go? And then what are some of the steps you're going to take to get there? What do you think you need to learn? What do you think you need to do next? What have you already done? What do you already know? It walks you through that process. And many people have emailed to say that is the best part of everything they experienced because they got so much clarity, they were able to take steps to move forward. And you do that in your first or second week of joining. And then at the beginning of the quarter, every quarter, we go through the map making process. I send a series of emails to everyone aboard the Starship. And if you need to make a map right then for that quarter, you can do that. We share in the forums our maps, our questions about our maps. The map making process helps you set a goal for the next 3 months and then break it down, not just into what needs to get done, but each individual action. Because often we start too big. We say, I'm going to work on this project, but we don't know all the individual actions, and so we underestimate how much time it's going to take, or we feel bad because we haven't made more progress when in fact we've done a lot of tiny actions. So we do that in the map making guide and in the forums where people will say, I want to increase my sales, but I'm not sure how to do that. What are the steps to that? And we will help, both from our own experience, what I've seen has worked with other people, and the question I get asked the most often is, who is it for? Is it for me? If you are wondering that, you can email me. They're under about, click contact and fill out the form and tell me a little bit about yourself and the kind of business you have and what you know about the kind of business you want to have. It's okay if you're not totally clear on it yet. But so it is for people who want a business from their handmade thing. Now, your handmade thing might mean that you're a designer of knitwear or crochet or sewing or quilting. It might mean that you make a physical product and sell a physical product, which something like 80% of Starship captains do. They sell a physical product. It might be that you are an artist like Amy, who drew the Starship here, and you sell products with your artwork on them, or it might be that you are a writer and a teacher and you are part of the handmade community, and that's who you feel comfortable talking and working with. You might be a teacher for like a specific craft or skill, or an online teacher. Those are the kind of people that are aboard the Starship. It helps businesses best if you have already set up your business. So I think of the Starship as what comes next after the initial startup phase. So the startup phase is you figuring out, what are you going to sell? What are you going to charge? How are you going to sell it? And then like setting up your shop, putting a couple things available, maybe having your first sale or two. And then once you've figured out how to do all that stuff, what we struggle with is, what do you do next? What do you do to actually grow your business? What do you do to get past 1 sale a month to 20 sales a month to 200 sales a month? Both, what do you do to scale the production of that if you're a hand maker, but also how do you reach those people, and how do you get consistent with your marketing to regularly turn new people into customers? That's what the Starship, both the classes aboard it and the people aboard it and the forums, will help you do. So what I always tell people is, if you can't afford the payment plan, what it costs per month to break down the overall payment into 12 payment plans, you pay same price each month. If you can't afford that in the profit of your business right now, then the Starship probably isn't for you yet. It's okay to wait and join in the future, but keep that in mind. That's a guideline that lets you know if it'll be good for you or if it will be too much of a stress for you. And because everybody aboard is at least in that place, and often they have much bigger businesses or have been in business for much longer, that's what the conversations are related to. Is there's not a lot of, how do I start my first shop? And there's a lot more of, how do I deal with this sticky customer situation? How do I scale my wholesale? And the results that people have in the Starship are amazing. Most of it comes though from their hard work. They discover what they want to have, they break it into doable steps, then they do the work, and they get accountability both through the weekly chats where I ask, what are you working on, what's going well, and how can we help, and through the accountability partner program, where if you work best with an accountability partner, you sign up and I pair you with somebody who's either in your same industry, if that's what you want, or not in your same industry, if that's what you want. And you get paired up with somebody that you decide how you are going to hold each other accountable. Is it going to be over email, the phone, chat? Is it going to be weekly, monthly? And it really helps you connect with somebody. And then the forums let you ask a question to the bigger group and get a bunch of answers, and you get to know each other over the forums. One of the most active threads is I think it's called Give Me a Boost. And if you have something new that you would like us to share with our followers, you can post it there. And the people who think that they have an audience that would be interested in it will share it on Twitter and Instagram. And sales come from that. And what is awesome, my favorite part, is collaborations have come out of it. Yarn makers have partnered with yarn designers. Yarn shop owners have bought stitch mark makers. Outside of the knitting industry, an artist held a giveaway with a podcaster and got a bunch of new sales that month. So there are all these kinds of ways you can collaborate with people who are on all different paths in their business. So to go back to us being our own captains, we are all going on our own way. We're figuring things out that will work for us and not assuming that just because it worked for somebody else, it's going to work for us. And above all, we are kind and compassionate, and we only answer what's asked. If you have an issue, and I actually teach you how to do this in orientation, you make a clear ask to get the exact kind of feedback you're looking for. So if you're excited about a new product and you just want us to help you spell check it, that's different than if you want us to tell you if it's a good idea or not, or if we think anybody would buy it. Right? If you just want to spell check, you'd be disappointed if we told you it might not work. But if you want to know if it might work and we will just spell check it, that would be wrong too. So you will learn to ask for what help you need, and then you will get it. The big community guideline is that everything inside the Starship is private unless you have specifically said, please share this with people, or you are okay to share this. And everything aboard the Starship is just going to be what you ask for. So we're not going to give you a bunch of unasked for advice, because that's the worst part of being a community. And above all, everybody is kind and compassionate and loving and sweet. It has a very wonderfully supportive environment, and no cattiness. People always email me to ask ahead of time, is there much competition? Do people feel very competitive? And even though there's maybe 10% of members right now are knitwear designers, and another 10% are yarn makers. And then the other grouping is artists and quilters and glass blowers and sewists. There's magically no competition. People are so helpful. So many people who have been in business for over 10 years will actually mentor the people who are just starting in the same business. So I love to see that. And I would love, if this sounds like the kind of thing you need for your business, I would love to see you aboard. You can find out more at tarazweiger.com/starshipbiz. And if it's not open right now, when you find this, it will be open in a quarter, and there will be a sign-up page or a sign-up form on that page so that you can sign up to learn more. When you sign up, you're going to get my money and traffic tracker that I use every month to stay on top of my numbers and to reach my goals. You will also meet some of the captains who are aboard, captains who have tripled their sales in the year they've been aboard, captains who have gone from their first goal was to make $1,000 a month, which they met in their first quarter aboard, and then they grew it to quit their day job, and now they own a bricks and mortar yarn shop. You'll meet that captain. So you meet some of the captains, and you'll see if they are the kind of people you want to spend time with. So tarazweiger.com/starshipbiz. If you have any questions, you can always ask. Just fill out the contact form. Thanks, and have an enthusiastic day.